thousands of women under the Rivers Women for Good Governance banner marched in Port Harcourt this morning, endorsing President Bola Tinubu's state of emergency declaration in Rivers State. Clad in white, they expressed support for sole administrator Vice Admiral Ibas, retired, in restoring peace and democratic governance. The declaration of state of emergency is constitutional. Their placards read, praising Ibas as God sent and rejecting the reinstatement of suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The group urged Ibas to probe Fubara's alleged bloated contracts, insisting there is no tribal war in the state. Margaret, a protester, said, before now everybody was afraid. Some individuals and militant groups were threatening to cause mayhem. Nengi added, there was uncertainty everywhere. The declaration has calmed down everything. Peace noted. We are all wearing white, symbolizing peace. No one is threatening fire and brimstone. This follows last week's protest by women in black opposing the emergency rule and demanding for Barra's return, highlighting a dividing sentiment over the state's leadership crisis. Dr. Wala, I would love to have your thoughts on this story.
Okay. Organization of rally in support or against any government either policies or actions be taken, I think is a free right of any group to do so. But where I am worried is when we look at the motives behind such rally. It was a few days ago that a rally was held by women wearing black, and that rally was in protest against the emergency rule and suspension of the elected political officers in the state, which includes the governor, his deputy, and the members of the River State House of Assembly. That ordinarily, every well-meaning citizen of this state should condemn, if not for anything, for its own constitutionality, violation of the constitutions of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I don't also see where such miss the standards of principles of democracy, where a sitting president became a president because he was elected, and Rivers people were part of those who elected him, and only for a governor elected as well in charge of a state to be suspended. I don't know where that power is being derived. And now everything is being politicized to the point that because a group of women protested and wore black, we are seeing another group of women, would I call that one protest? In support. They didn't protest, rather supporting the president for the declaration of a state of emergency and the suspension of the elected political leaders in the state. So it is where that I have some concerns, and then felt the impact of the political undertone of such protest. And they are wearing white. I and you know that white and black are opposite. So what the women wearing white have made us to understand is that they didn't just come to rally for the support of the declaration and the sole administrator, but they rallied against or in protest of the previous women group that had their own rally. And then you look at their message, which you also read, talking about it has brought peace, it was in order. When you look at some of those statements, where are their credibility? So to me, I think this particular rally is more politicized, and then to serve interests, not the interests of River State. If they say declaration of the state of emergency is what they actually came out to rally upon, then I would say declaration of a state of emergency where there is suspicion of a breakdown of law and order, which may lead to catastrophic destructions of lives and property, then the state of emergency can be declared. I don't want to go into looking whether there are, if such conditions that should warrant declaration of a state of emergency arose before the declaration or not. It's not my major concern. But my major concern is both when they combine it with that of the suspension, preferring a sole administrator, not minding that among the 36 states of the Federation, it is only in Rivers State where an elected governor has been suspended. There are many other states where the conditionalities of events that should prompt declaration of state of emergency, nobody is talking about that. But going to Rivers State issue, giving excuses which the federal government has given that warranted or prompted the declaration of a state of emergency, one can say, to me, I have always said that the president as the commander-in-chief knows the security report that may have been presented to him, in which he may have acted upon. But that of the suspension of the governor. So whosoever that is conducting rally, just like as I've said, I am not against it, everybody has his own right. But justifying that action, I'm in opposition of it. I'm opposing such.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not in agreement of such.
I'll be back on you. Mr. Baruma, what's your opinion on this?
The rally seems to be very much confusing, because what I know, as the other women came up the other day to protest, it was like bring back the governor, the suspended governor, Similai Fubara. That was the aim, and the wore black a way to say the citizens of the state are not happy because of the state of emergency. We have other states in the country where, put it like Jos, Plateau State, is under fire. We have Borno State is under fire, where they talk about the bandits and whatsoever they call them every day. We heard about that story. They have not declared that state state of emergency. But we in Rivers State, because of one or two messages or information that wasn't really clear, they made Rivers State state of emergency. I think the rally, it seems to be very much political. You know, politicians are those who work with ambitions. I'm talking as a public analyst. They work with ambition, what they are to gain. So sometimes a way to support and make it open that they are behind the government, they put it the present state of emergency, they come openly to do such, put it, give such order, that information to the women who came on board. Because in Rivers State, which I know I'm staying, everywhere is very much peaceful. Those who they suspended are not reacting. They are not, they are not bringing out issues or crises or to fight anybody. They suspended them, and peacefully they went back to their houses. Peacefully. You don't hear them. They don't shout on the radio. They don't talk on the TV. They don't move anywhere. You don't see them with any protest or with boys to destroy any property of the state or the people. So why are we saying Rivers State is under state of emergency? If you observe what happens recently, that the SOA administrator to Rivers State have decided to appoint another SOA administrators. His aim was to come and establish peace if there wasn't peace in Rivers State. But all we are saying is another system of government the SOA administrator is introducing. So I think it's not really fair.
I will hold the Dr. Wali. Dr. Wali, ever since the SOA administrator has been functioning, what would be your assessment of his legislative duties?
Legislative? You see, he's a military administrator, right? We are in a democratic government, civilian regime. So even the appointments, him as a sole administrator, is unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional. The only problem there we have is that in a state of lawlessness, it is unlawful to be law-abiding. So if the procedure or the process that brought him to power as the sole administrator is unconstitutional, so I don't expect him to do anything constitutional.
But the basis upon which he was reinstated was based on security and the destruction of national assets.
That's what I'm saying.
So
In as much as
I do not qualify.
No. We are not in a military regime. We should understand this clearly. We are not in a military regime. Okay, if that is the case, so does it mean that wherever, whenever there's any challenge, any problem, the best thing to be done in a democratic society is to bring in the military?
No, I'm looking at it was a looming fire.
Even if it's a looming fire, we have a conventional security outfits. We have I have mentioned this before. Do you remember when we had militancy and court wars in Rivers State, where some troops were brought? Some of them, they are marked with a padlock. We had a coffee. That didn't warrant what we are seeing now. We are talking about something severe. So if the government has perceived that there's something severe, a looming danger that could explode, what they would have done there is they would have brought in the security agents to work with the governor. He is the chief security officer. So they would have still maintained peace and security. They would have still protected all those assets that we are talking about. Okay, as we speak now, when the governor was on seat, who are those that protect those assets? It's still them. It's not the governor. It's not the civilian governor. We have the military. We have the police. We have other recognized security outfits that man such protection of assets. So what I'm seeing now is that even when they heard that the mandate is to maintain peace and reconcile, I was expecting to see the steps right from when he assumed duty geared towards reconciliation.
Okay.
Because when we talk about the reconciliation, we know the parties that are involved. Okay. But you see that one of the parties, I don't know if they are back, but I learned that they traveled down to UK for a legislative training also. We haven't had. The governor himself, nobody have heard him, talking. Everywhere is just quiet. Everybody is just watching to really see what is obtainable or what may have been, a hidden agenda behind all what is playing out now. So instead of focusing on that reconciliation, taking those steps, it's not what we are seeing. We are seeing appointments. Okay, even if perhaps you have that power to appoint, and then we know we are from Rivers State, or we are staying in Rivers State, and we know so far those people, the majority of those appointed, where they belong, where they are coming. And that's why some persons are saying that it is lopsided. The appointments are one side. So if it is, the appointments are on one side, when there are two divides, are you making peace? Are you in any way convincing the parties that are involved that these steps are going to help for reconciliation? It's not what is playing out.
I mean, before I go to Honorable Barioma, you are a lecturer in the Department of Diplomacy, if I'm not mistaken. What's your idea on diplomacy in this current condition?
For now, there is, when you are talking about he has not been diplomatic. The only thing we see is what has been spoken, and then what is the action taken.
Okay.
So if we are talking about bringing in diplomacy, so he has not been diplomatic about it. First of all, there are two parties that are involved.
Okay.
On this other side, have you taken some steps to reach out to them? This other side, have you taken some steps to reach out to them? Then in the appointments you are making, is it inclusive? The appointments that have been made so far,
okay,
are they all embracing? These are the signs that would have purported his readiness,
okay,
to be diplomatic in it. But it's not what we are seeing. It's not what, okay, who is he negotiating with? When we talk about diplomacy, negotiation is at the core of it. You talk about the reconciliation, negotiation is at the core of it. You talk about peace, negotiation is at the core of it. Is it what we are seeing? Of recent, I saw destruction of a bus containing the governor. Is it what we are seeing? No, you asked me a question. You said diplomacy.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. So from the signs or the signals that I'm getting so far, I don't see anything diplomatic so far since he assumed the duty.
But would you say it's a gradual process?
If we say it's a gradual process, then the first step matters a lot. The first step, the step you are taking is what will make people to really have the confidence in you.
But if the steps you are taking from ab initio is pointing towards opposite what you are called for, it calls for suspicion. It makes me to be suspicious about the whole process.
Okay, I want your thoughts on that. Honorable Barrioma, you heard what he said, and I'll also ask you, what will be your assessment of the vice of the sole administrator based on his duties ever since his appointment?
Yeah, but I think what I've been observing, or the way it's behaving or reacting, is just based on the emergency, state of emergency. Because if you look at it, they misplace how should I put it, priority. Because you carry them from another place and give another man. My name is Baroma. Then you give me Dr. Wara as my name. Our behavior must change. The state of emergency, it's a kind of just to make sure things get better with that emergency. But all we are seeing here is no longer the emergency, because we observe that gradually the government is changing. You
mentioned government. Let me ask you a question. Someone once said that currently, we shouldn't expect democratic processes to take place, because this is we're no longer operating in a fully democratic system. It's called a state of emergency, meaning we should expect anything.
Anything can happen.
Because, so I should ask for that.
But if you observe in River State, is there any crisis?
I'm talking about
currently.
I'm talking about administering his functions. You would expect him to behave like a democratic.
The point of view was he should come to the state and establish peace. But all we are seeing is another, a way of, to reset the whole system, where he have to take over to govern the state. That's what we are saying. It's not like him coming in as an external person to make peace between the both party. He's not making peace between the both party. Instead, is bringing his own system of government, a way to, to push everybody away, destabilize the government, and bring his own way, his own system of governing.
It could be his own convention of peace on a gradual process.
Because let me tell you, he's now going into the academic sector to bring the professors and bringing doctors to come and to administer the program of the state. And the aim was for him to come and settle, make peace between these both parties. Okay, you're not doing well. All right, this is what we need to do now at this point. Okay, I'm going to stand in between both of you. I will be here to monitor you to see that you do better. I'm here to monitor you to see that you do things you're supposed to do. Things you're not supposed to do, you let it go. Okay. But what we are seeing now revises the case. He's supposed to settle the distance. So if you observe, he's bringing people from he's bringing people from other party.
We are watching the process. Gentlemen, thank you for your
yes, there's something I just want to add. Okay. One of the contentions also had to do with the structure. When I mean structure, local government structure. Okay. And then when the governor, immediately after the Supreme Court judgment, declared that the election has been nullified, and then the local government, those elected, they vacated the office. What did the governor do? He didn't appoint caretakers again. What he did was that to allow the system, we have a head of local government administration, handle their affairs. So that's why I said I don't want to talk about the law or the constitutional provisions. Otherwise, I would have said a lot of things here. So the process that brought him is unconstitutional. And the only thing he has to continue doing is to continue with unconstitutional means. Okay, you are appointing these people within how many period that you have stayed? Do you know them? Do you know who belongs to which of the divides? So it's like, that's why I say this calling, when he mentioned about diplomacy, I said there's nothing diplomatic about it. Okay. Rather, it's like there's a script, except if there is an agreement that has been reached between both parties in the secret that I and you don't know, and in which he has come to fulfill. Except so. Otherwise, what I will tell you here is the steps he's taking. And in fact, Rivers has proven that we have been peaceful before his coming, and we will still remain peaceful. There is no dispute, there is no crisis.